Hey, this is Ben again, doing a music review this week of some recent releases that just came out. I only review things once I get the LP version of it, normally. I did buy the CD versions of these, though, as well. Two albums. First one I'm going to do is the new Iggy and the Stooges album, Ready to Die. This is a really just kind of unexpected out there release. If you know anything about Iggy and the Stooges, it's a whole history of drug abuse. There's a thousand things that was going on in the history of this band. They're the godfathers of punk rock. They essentially started everything that happened after in the late 70s for punk rock. And they were around in the late 60s, so they were definitely like a decade ahead of the pack. Iggy Pop, I guess, decided to do this project. He's really into jazz and stuff like that now, which two songs on the album are more slow acoustic jazz pieces, which is cool because he has a good voice for it. That's what he's really into now, but it seems as if he's not necessarily holding himself back, but doing punk rock for the sake of doing it because that's what he set forth in the late 60s with the Stooges. So now he's reformed the Stooges with some new members, obviously because their lead guitar player died a few years ago, Ron Asherson. So now he has some new people involved. They're great musicians, so I'm not going to knock them at all. The songs on this album are pretty funny. There's Burn, Sex and Money, Job, Gun. These are 4 song titles. Double D's. Yeah, Iggy Pop has a very good sense of humor, which is shown through the songs. There are obscenities in these songs, so if you're like a younger viewer or listener, and you have a parent that doesn't like you hearing swears in songs, this is obviously not your album. But nothing too bad. I mean, it's very tongue-in-cheek, just like Iggy Pop always does. So, take it that a lot of the songs sound like, well, early 80s, early 90s Iggy Pop solo albums, which is good because I like those. Nothing sounds truly like 1967 to like 73 Stooges era to me, which isn't that big of a deal because I like his other stuff too. And like I said, the 2 jazz songs on it, which I believe Unfriendly World and The Departed, are really, really good if you're looking for something a little bit different out of them. So I'm doing a 5-star rating system. I'm giving this album a 4 out of 5, which is good. I mean, anything that's getting a 4 or a 5 is great, in my opinion. So I'll move on to the next album I'm doing in the review, the new Fitz The Tantrums album, which is called More Than Just a Dream. I normally listen to an album a few times before I review it or give it any kind of judgment. I've listened to this album one time. I absolutely love it. Fitz The Tantrums came out with an album in 2010, late 2010, called Picking Up the Pieces. And that album is phenomenal. It's so good. If you really like Motown sound, anything like mid-60s Motown or Stax Records or anything like that, this band mimics that sound, but does it justice. It doesn't make a mockery of it. This album's really good. The singles are great, which Out of My League is the first song on the album. 6 a.m., Fool's Gold. The singles are really good. You might be able to hear them on the radio. But House on Fire is really good. Last Raindrop's really good. But the whole album itself is just, it's a masterpiece. I highly suggest listening to them if you're really into that sound, because it sounds so good. Now, yeah, this album's a little bit of a departure from their last album. It's not as, I wouldn't say it's as Motown influenced, but it's still really good. It kind of has, there's a lot more vocal harmonies, which is good, because the lead singer, who's a male, has a backup singer who's a female, and I believe they sing the majority of the parts. I know they have, the band actually sings sometimes with them to do backup harmonies, but those two by themselves are great. They are great vocalists. I may go see them. They're going to be in Columbus in early July, I think. So I might go see them. Kind of depends on how things roll out. But if I do go see them, I'll do a review of the concert. Because I would love to see them. I'm giving this album a 5 out of 5. Yeah, I only listened to it once. Yeah, normally it takes an album like this to grow on me a little bit. But first playthrough, I'm like, this thing is, it's going to probably be one of my favorite albums of this year. So, definitely go pick up The Stooges. If you're a big Iggy Pop fan, you like his solo stuff, go pick up Fitz and the Tantrums if you like really good vocal harmonies and Motown influenced sound, and a really, really good backup band. I mean, it doesn't do them justice saying they're a backup band. They're so talented. So yeah, those are my two music reviews. Again, if you want to leave a comment, please do. And if you have any suggestions, just, send the comments in, or hit me up on my Twitter, which I said I rarely use, but I'll look into it more. It's at BENJAFETT. And I'll see you guys when I have some more stuff to cover.